Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith. Welcome to the finale of Arkham Horror 3rd Edition. Let's get right into it. One thing I'd like to correct from the last video is a card which we grabbed a newspaper and it said Wild Animal Attacks. And right here at the very bottom, it was the one that we were able to actually choose a non-epic monster in a space, suffer a damage equal to that monster's remaining health, and then defeat it. What I did by mistake was I actually gave a sanity to Agnes Baker when I killed the monster instead of hitting her for 1 damage because the actual monster was a cultist and the cultist had 1 health. So I should actually have hit her with a health damage and not a sanity damage. So I'm going to go ahead and remove 1 sanity, put 1 health on. So we're doing a little switch there. That's going to correct that little mistake, and then we're going to move back over and start the round with Calvin. So Calvin's going to start us off here. He is inside the Merchant District, which is got an anomaly in there. It's also got a clue in the deck. We got to get rid of the Doom tokens first, then the anomaly, then we can go for the clue. We also have a Ravenous Predator in here we have to deal with that is going to use its Hunter keyword when it activates next to move directly and engage the lowest willed investigator, which would be Calvin, because Calvin only has 1 will. So no matter where Calvin goes, he could run 5 spaces away. Hunter means he literally moves directly. It even says it right on the card, move directly to and engage the lowest willed investigator. So it doesn't matter where he runs, he's going to be attacked. So I might as well try to attack first. At least that's what I thought, until we have to remember the fact we're engaged. We have a robe figure still left over on us, and we have to deal with this guy. It's because I cannot move when I have an engaged monster on me. I have to attack or evade first. So I'm gonna, I could evade the robe figure in order to get to the Ravenous Predator. That might actually make sense because my observation's really good. So if we go ahead and do an evade for the first time, we test our observation to disengage and exhaust the monster equal to our test result. So no matter how many successes we get, we can exhaust that many monsters that are on us. And then if we evade all the monster, we get to perform an additional action. Now see, that's where it's very strategic, because if we pass and Calvin's observation is 3 and we pass this, I can get an action back, meaning I can move and attack, which would be awesome. So let's go ahead and try to actually evade the robe figure. As you can see, the modifier is nothing. It's going to just be a straight 3, but I'm cursed. That's where things get sketchy. So I could still fail this, as I need to get 6s in order to do this successfully. So this is where things could get really nasty. Alright, so we're going to roll 3 dice with Calvin, 3 cursed dice, hoping that we can get a 6. And remember, we can get rid of our curse condition if after we pass this test, we can then discard the card and are no longer cursed. Oh my gosh, I got 2 successes on cursed dice. This is a good day for Calvin, so I could have evaded up to 2 monsters. I didn't need to. I only needed to evade 1. So what you do is you take the robe figure, which I'm successfully evading with 1 of them, and you return it to its ready side, and then you place it in the area where it sits. And as of right now, it's disengaged with me, but it's also in a ready state, so it will do its thing on the next turn and activate as normal. But now I no longer have to worry about that, plus I gain an extra action back, meaning I have 2 actions, so I'm going to have Calvin now move from the unvisited isle over to the river docks. And we're also not going to forget that we're going to turf our curse condition, because it says after you pass a test, discard this card. So we passed a test, this is going to get discarded. So now we're going to go ahead and toss this thing to the bottom of the pile, and we're going to move on to a better dice roll in the future. We're also going to activate him for his 2 actions now, because he gained 1 back. He'll move here, and he's going to be... this monster now is going to become engaged with him. That's okay, because we are going to attack it out of the gate. Now, what does this thing do? The Ravenous Predator. So the Ravenous Predator says, all the evil in the universe was concentrated in their lean, hungry bodies. Nasty. Okay, so it's just going to give me a remnant if I beat it. It's -1 on the strength, and it's 3 to kill. So that's pretty high. So my combat right now is 3 for Calvin. I'm also going to use my Spirit Dagger as I always do, which will give me +2. There's nothing else I don't think I can help with this, although I do have a cop now with me that says after you defeat a monster as part of an attack action, you may research a clue. So that would have been really cool. And I think, ooh, that's actually really interesting, because I don't actually know how that would work, especially when there's an anomaly there. I don't know if I'd be able to even do that. Oh, research a clue. My mistake. That's actually putting a clue on me onto the scenario sheet. Actually, I can do that because Calvin has a clue on him. Look at that. So I'd be putting that on the scenario sheet, and we do need to get 3 clues on the scenario sheet in order to get this protective ward over Arkham done. So that actually works out pretty good. So let's go ahead and do this. So attack's going to be 5 dice minus 1, and I'm no longer cursed, thank goodness. So I'm going in with 4 regular dice. Here's hoping they pan out okay. Okay, so we ended up getting 1 success. That's not very good. Is there any way I can re-roll any of this? I could suffer a horror to re-roll any number, and I think I might, because I really want to make sure that this hits. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, I'm going to take the horror hit. So let's go ahead and grab a horror, and just so you guys know where this is going to go, I can't put it on Zora, which is my ally, because she already has one, and I'd lose her if I did. If I put it on the amulet, I also lose the amulet, so I don't want to put it there. I could put it on his card. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it on Calvin's card because, again, remember he's got that cool action called Friend Indeed where he can kind of shuffle sanity and horror around. So now, just so you guys know, Calvin has 2 damage and 2 sanity, as well as Agnes. Agnes has 2 damage and 1 sanity. That's what their counts are on their actual cards, not including their allies and everything and their items. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We took the sanity damage. I'm going to reroll any number of dice. I'm going to choose all 3 of these. How did I do that, if you're wondering? It's the voice of the messenger. For those of you that are following along from the beginning, you know this. All right, here we go. Oh my gosh, there we go. We got our 3, so that is enough to kill it. So the Ravenous Predator is dead, and we're going to gain a Remnant. Fantastic. Okay, so let's grab a Remnant and add that to Calvin. Now, Calvin needs to start giving these Remnants over to Agnes because she uses them much better, or much more useful situations for her. Okay, so we have successfully moved. We killed the monster. We disengaged the rogue figure, which is a very easy monster. He might not even bother with us anymore. He might just leave depending on where he's going, which would be great. Then we can start focusing on Doom. So his turn's done, and he's also not engaged with any monsters yet. So that means he can have an anomaly encounter, which is awesome. So his turn is done. Let's move over to Agnes. But just before we do, we don't want to forget about that cop ability, which is going to allow us to put 1 clue onto the scenario sheet. Boom, and that one was already on Calvin from the last video. So that is going to be one of the 3 clues we need before we jump back to Easttown, where we originally found this red ritual site, basically, and we try to put up that protective ward on the city to try to avoid it from going downhill. Actually, it's not a ritual site anymore. It's actually a epicenter of distortion, so it's even worse. Okay, let's head over to Agnes and see what she's going to do. Okay, so Agnes has 1 monster engaged with her. It's the Hooded Stalker, so that's not good. We're going to have to deal with him, and just so you guys can see that again, 1 damage is all we need to do in order to kill it. We could try to evade it, but you know what I'm going to use for the first time for her? I'm going to use that Shriveling spell she picked up because it's got a really cool ability here that says, test your lore -1, so that in that case would be a total of 4 dice for her, and she's blessed, so the chances of her screwing this up is almost 0. Famous last words. 1 monster in your space or an adjacent space suffers damage equal to your test result. You can perform this action while engaged with a monster. So I can literally go ahead right now and I can actually take a shot at trying to kill this engaged Hooded Stalker. I could even sit where I am and go after this one, but I kind of want to get into one of these areas so I can do an anomaly test at some point as well. But I'll likely get, well, actually this Hooded Stalker is going to move towards and engage as a hunter, the lowest combat, and as of right now Agnes has 3 and so does Calvin. Ooh, so it's a tie. So later in the monster phase, when this Hooded Stalker decides where it's going, if the combat is equal to Agnes as well as Calvin, they both have 3, then it'll go to whoever is closer. So in this case, Agnes is going to have to deal with it. So we're going to have to think about that, but for now, let's just go ahead and try to make this attack against the Hooded Stalker. So first off, we pay a sanity to actually use this Shriveling spell, and this Shriveling spell is going to allow us to make an attack or using an action to attack against it using our lore. What I can do is spend a remnant to block that sanity so I don't have to spend it. Perfect. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to be rolling 4 blessed dice, which gives us a really good shot of actually landing this. And I only need 1 successful result to kill this thing. I got 2, so I'm totally successful. Now remember with blessed dice, it's the opposite in time you lose it. If you fail a test, you discard the card. So basically you have to be successful every single time to keep them. So as long as I'm rolling good stuff, high chance stuff, then I might be okay. We'll see how that pans out. So we've killed the Hooded Stalker. This one is now no longer engaged with us. It's dead. It doesn't give us a remnant because there's no remnant token located on the card itself. We still have 1 more action to spend. So this is where we need to decide how we want to play this out. there really isn't any point in moving Agnes into any of these positions, because if she's in here and I really want to do an encounter, regardless the Hooded Stalker's coming for her, she'll be engaged, and then she can't do an encounter. So I might as well just use my shriveling spell again, but I can use it from a distance this time, because it does say I can actually attack one space away or adjacent space. So I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to spend a remnant so I don't have to pay a sanity to do it. So we'll just get rid of these monsters to make life easy for us, because who knows what's coming inside of that Mythos cup if we get more. So we know that we're hitting this thing from a distance, which is awesome. Again, we already know it's just 1. I got 4 dice to roll because it's the exact same rolls before, and hopefully I'll get a success. I did. I got 2, so that's enough. And actually, I would have failed that if it had been the regular dice because it was 2 4s. So this thing is dead, gone. We've successfully killed off 2 monsters. And at this point, we're done our action phase. It's now time for the monsters phase, so we have a robe figure here. He's going to be moving, because he's got the patrol keyword, toward the most unstable space, or the unstable space. Looking at the discarded pile for the event deck, that is going to be the Black Cave. Look at that. That's actually going to be heading over towards Agnes. It's not exactly the best, so let's go ahead and move him to the Black Cave. So we'll take the robe figure. He pops right over here to the Black Cave, which is right adjacent to Agnes. The encounter phase begins with Calvin. We'll do this right now. We're going to grab one of the Anomaly cards, because he's in one of those areas, which is one of these guys right here, and he's got 1 Doom token in his area, so let's see what happens. You read, oh, I can't even pronounce that. Something something, king of something, something something, heir of something, the Imperial Dynasty of America. Check your lore. Sorry about that, guys. I had to skip that. There's literally 900 words I couldn't even pronounce there. I'll read the rest of it, though, because it just it's a little bit crazy. Okay, so we're going to be checking our lore on this one, and our lore is 3. I don't think I have anything I can increase that. No, but I'm still rolling at least regular dice, so I should have a shot here. Oh my gosh, 3 successes. Like, what is with my rolling in this game? All right, I can tell you right now, these dice are not weighted, but I don't know how I'm getting these successes. Anyway, I only need 1. It says, if you pass, you realize it is an account of an alternate Earth and learn how to prevent it. You remove 1 Doom from your space. Okay, so we got rid of 1 of the Doom from that space. So I was hoping for a little bit more, but hey, it's something. His encounter is done. Let's move over to Agnes. Agnes is actually in the streets, and I don't know how often we've actually been in the streets, but we're at a bridge right now, which is kind of cool. So we're going to be going over here and grabbing a streets card. This actually might be the first one we've ever done, but when you flip it over, it's very similar to Eldritch Horror. You basically pick based on where you're at. Same with all the other ones, and it's bridge right in the middle, so we'll be doing that. A leathery old man stands against the rail in the center of the river, fishing rod in hand and a bucket of crushed ice at his feet. Seeing you, he nods, and in a traditional, laconic New England fashion, offers you a cold beer and a rest. You may become delayed for you or an ally to recover to sanity. Yeah, I don't think I really want to do that. So I'm going to say no. I think if I had got that earlier in the game, I would have said yes, and I mean, it is very good. Becoming delayed basically just means that your next action, your next turn is going to be, you're just going to basically lay your character over if you become delayed, and the next time it comes around for your action turn, you literally just stand up, and that's all you get to do. So you're kind of just burning a turn for that character. It is useful if I was seriously close to dying, but I'm not. And a lot of the monsters are dealt with now, so we shouldn't be taking much hits, so I should have some time to maybe clear up some of that damage. And Calvin has a really good mitigation against damage and insanity, so I'm going to skip on that. So now we're going to move to the Mythos Cup, the wonderful Mythos Cup. So we might as well start it off with Agnes here. We'll grab one at a time. What do we get? Ah, we got a blank. That's good. Next up, we get a clue. Clues are good, so let's go ahead and find out where the clue is going to be. We're going to go ahead and grab the card from the event deck. It is going to be downtown. That's where the clue is going, and that's not where we are. But we'll grab one of the clue tokens right here. We'll put it in the downtown area. We're now going to take this card and shuffle it into the top 2 cards of the downtown deck. So we've got an option to go up there for clue. Now the thing is, guys, you might be wondering, hey, like, how come you don't go after the north side in downtown? Because at this point, you got 2 open clues. You don't have to deal with anomalies. You could kind of, you know, you might be able to get it done quicker. The thing is, guys, if I leave anomalies alone and I get to those other locations that are wide open and go after the clues, if I don't get the encounter that's the clue card right away, if it even lasts more than a turn, I am going to likely have Doom that's going to drop on these 2 locations right here. And when they do, they immediately go to the scenario card, and we are already at 5 Doom. If we get to 7, the thing flips, and who knows what happens, but I don't want it to happen. So we are going to fight these anomalies, at least one of them, until we can get close enough that we can just grab one more clue and run, maybe. We'll see how it goes. So those were the 2 clues for Agnes. Let's head over to Calvin. He'll draw his 2. Calvin's still at the river docks, and we're going to go ahead and grab 2 tokens for him. That's not good. Not good at all. And a blank. Okay, at least we're getting the blanks, which is kind of giving us a little bit of a breather. Good thing we got rid of some of the monsters, because another one is coming out. So from the bottom of the monster deck, a new monster arrives. What is it? It's the Tindalos Alpha. Oh, that does not sound good. First off, it spawns at the most doom. Okay, so that's interesting. So the most doom is going to be, where is that? Oh, that's actually over at the graveyard where Agnes is. Yikes, that's not good. She's going to have to take care of that. So this card is going over into the Rivertown district. You'll see that when we head over to Agnes on the next turn. But that monster spawn has now been resolved. Okay, so we're starting off a new round of actions here. We'll kick it off with Agnes here. She's got a bunch of monsters in her space she's got to deal with. So the first thing to remember, guys, we do have the Tattered Cloak. So again, it says that non-epic monsters ignore you while activating and do not engage you unless you attack or damage them. So where things get a little weird is the way that the rules state that a monster would become engaged with you is if you're in the same space with them and you attack them. It's kind of the same, like both of those things have to happen in order for them to engage you. So in other words, if I use my shriveling spell, which is something I can do from a distance, which allows me to basically just nail a particular monster with damage, and I can perform this action while engaged with a monster as well if I'd like, then it won't engage with me because I have the Tattered Cloak. It's kind of a weird combo there. And that might be one that ends up going to an FAQ as well as to like how that would work, because a Tattered Cloak essentially says that like once you attack it, then it could potentially engage you, but a monster doesn't engage you from a space away. So if I'm shooting it from distance, I imagine that I'm still safe. So I'm going to be playing it like that because I am using an attack from distance. And if I'm going to do that, it's going to cost me a sanity. I have no more remnants, so I have to take that sanity damage. And I'm going to take a pot shot at this thing and see if I can do it. So it's a testing of my lore -1. So we know my lore is 5. So it'll be 4 dice. This nasty creature right here, when it activates next, just so you guys are aware of this, is going to move to engage the highest observation character. Currently, my observation on Agnes is 2 and on Calvin is 3. So he's actually going to leave anyway and go over to Calvin. So I might as well help Calvin out by just kind of hitting it once, I guess. Or I could leave it alone and actually go after the robed figure. That's another thing I could do. Oh, it's such a tough call as to how I want to play this out. I kind of want to help him out so that he can guarantee a kill, because he's not blessed. So his chances of hitting him more, and especially if this monster here has a decent health value, which I believe it does, it's a 2+, and the plus, what that means basically is it's elite and it has an extra health for every investigator. So it really has 4 health. So that's not... I really should take a pot shot at it with my shriveling. So okay, I'll do that. I've already spent the sanity for it. I'm going to test. We're going to test using 4 dice. And we're going to hope for good things. Okay, we got 2 hits. That's actually really good. That's not bad at all. So 2 damage on him at least. So that's awesome. And it's not engaged with me because I hit it from distance. So it has to be in the same space in order for it to become engaged with me or be activated and move towards me. So that was good. I just threw straight damage on it. I can't... Oh, I could actually... Ooh, this is where things get interesting. See, I have that heirloom again. So what I could do, it says after you cast a spell, you may focus 1 skill of your choice. So what I could do is I'm in the middle of casting my spell. I could burn one of my focus tokens in order to reroll, knowing that I'll get it back anyway. So I'm going to burn my lore token to reroll 1 die and see if I can get lucky. Nope, I did not. And then I'll just take that lore token right back thanks to the heirloom. Okay, well, with that, that's pretty much all I can do for the attack, but I also want to get in there. I could also try to hit the robed figure and get rid of it. This is going to end up leaving at the end of the next turn, and then she can come in. But why not just come in here anyway? Okay, so I figured it out. Let's get Agnes to just move into the Black Cave. She's got her Tattered Cloak on, so she's not going to become engaged by the robed figure. This thing's going to fly away and basically head right over to Calvin and engage him when it activates anyway. So it'll be gone, so I can deal with this and maybe these Doom tokens right afterwards and get towards getting those clues. So Agnes's turn is finished off, and now we can move over to Calvin. Calvin's going to work on just cleaning up the streets down here in the Merchant District. So we're going to have Calvin, where should we go? TikTok Club or the Unvisited Isle? Either way, he's doing an anomaly encounter for 2 doom, so it doesn't matter too much. I guess putting him in a pivotal spot where he could jump over here if he needs to might be smart for now, so I'll put him here. So that'll work for him, and then he's going to go ahead. Actually, technically, I could ward away some doom as well, but then there wouldn't be any doom tokens there. So there's that. But that actually may not be a bad idea, because even when there's 0 doom, you can still... That can still be good. Let's try to ward. Why not? Let's go ahead. I get 5 dice on my ward ability, which is really high. So I might as well try to ward it, and I can still do an anomaly encounter there. So where's my other die? Here we go. We got 5. We're looking for just 2 successes. Come on, Calvin. Ah, we only got 1. That's no good. Do I have any rerolls or anything? I don't think so. Oh, that's too bad. I could, again, take a horror in order to reroll, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to remove 1 doom. Rats. I was hoping for a lot more than that. I guess it's better than nothing. Okay, so that is going to be his action. Now we're going to move on to the monster phase. So in this monster phase, we know the robe figure is going to move towards the card in the event deck on the discard pile that has the Mark Doom token, so the Black Cave. He's still heading there. So he's actually there already, so he's not going to move any further, and he cannot engage Agnes because she's got the cloak on. But this Tindalos thing here is going to use its Hunter keyword to move directly to engage the highest observation character, which in this case is Calvin. So he's going to come off the board, flip to this side, and the two damage that he has is going to come with him. But now Calvin is going to be considered engaged. So Agnes will start us off in the encounter phase. She's going to go ahead with an anomaly encounter, so hopefully it's a good one. She's got 1 doom in her area, and it's let's go ahead and read it and see what happens. You see yourself in the past, about to make a terrible mistake. You have to check your will. Okay, so will is 3 for her, and she has blessed dice, so that's really good. That's 2 successes. That's easily a pass. If you pass, you grit your teeth and let it happen so as not to create a paradox. You remove 1 doom from any space in your neighborhood. If you fail, the other... Oh, okay, I guess if you fail, nothing else happens. So 1 doom from another space. I'd probably just remove it from here, so I can stay where I'm currently at, because that's actually really useful. And then I can maybe deal with the monster at some point later, too. So I'll remove that other one. And that's going to be her encounter done. So now let's move over to Calvin. But sadly, Calvin is engaged. He's engaged by this massive monster, so he cannot have an encounter where he currently is. So we skip past that and move right to the Mythos Cup. All right, Serenity, we need someone to help us, and it's going to be you, okay? Can you help me grab some tokens from the bag? What's going to happen? Did you get one? Almost. Did you get one? Pull it out. What is it? Pull it out. Okay, give me one. 1. Thank you. Okay. Actually, you know what? You did that pretty well. These 2 on top were the last 2 that came out. So this one and this one. These are the 2 that we're going to be resolving first. So it looks like Calvin pulled the newspaper token first, thanks to Serenity. That was the first one that dropped, so that's the first one we'll resolve. We'll grab a newspaper and see what we get. Police, do your jobs. So it's an opinion. Arkham more dangerous now than ever. The headline is, for each clue in your neighborhood, you suffer 1 damage or 1 horror. That is not good. The second token that we pulled is going to be the Doom token right here. So this is going to cause a Doom to land. So we're going to grab the back card of the event deck. It ends up being Rivertown, so that's not good for us. And it ends up going to the graveyard, which sadly is going to end up going on the scenario sheet. This card then goes into the event card discard pile. We take a Doom token. That's right, goodbye is right, Serenity. We're up to 6 Doom now for the scenario. All right, Serenity, we need another pull from here. We need 2 more. Can you pull 2 more from the bag? Come on, be good. Don't be bad. Which ones? Oh, that's a bad one. That's a gate burst. Thanks a lot. You're doing a good job. I'm not going to lie. What else you got? Oh, give 1 of them. Nope, just 1. Can you give me 1? Can you put 1 in my hand? Whichever one either drops or... you put in my hand. Is it this one? It looks like you're picking this one. Okay, so She just gave me a gate burst and a doom token. Oh, now you're giving me the good ones. Thanks a lot. She's trying to kill me. So the very first token that Serenity pulled was the Gate Burst token. So this is not going to be good. We're putting a Doom token in every area within the Merchant District. That is going to be a serious problem. So because we pulled the Merchant District, this one right here, Doom tokens would land on every single space, but we have an anomaly, which means 3 Doom is being placed onto the scenario card, guys. That is going to put us up to 9 Doom. And now we have to flip over that nasty card. All right, so this is the one we're going to read right now, which has now hit the Doom threshold. It says when there are 7 or more Doom on the scenario sheet, add cards 8 and 9 to the codex and return this to the archive. So we're going to put this card back in the archive. We're going to grab 8 and 9. All right, we're going to read the 2 cards that we just got. So the first one here is 8. So let me go ahead and read this for you. A terrible crashing sound pulls your attention toward the sky. A massive rift floats over Arkham. A menacing aura permeates the atmosphere, and a visible bubble of distortion envelopes the city. Add 1... Oh, look at that, guys. We're actually going to be adding tokens into the Mythos Cup. That's really cool. And then we're going to reveal all face-down markers, which we already have done and removed. So this one is, we already know where the red one is. So this part kind of is a branching part of a different path that could have happened within the game. That's what's cool about this version of Arkham Horror, is that you can go down a number of different paths depending on what things you succeed at and what things you fail at. So we don't have to do a lot of what's in this main paragraph here because we've already done it. And then it says if there's no markers, place 1 marker at the starting space. It's got to be the red one. But we already know the red one. We already know our main site is Velma's Diner because our story turned out differently. And then it says return cards 4, 6, and 7 to the archive if they're still in play. So currently Barrier Destroyed is in play. So I'm going to remove 6. It's going to go back. 7 is going to go back, which is the Distortion's epicenter, which sucks because that's actually the one I think we were trying to... I think next. So that's not good. So our objective just changed again. Do we have 4? No, 4 has already been returned. And then we're going to flip this 8 card. So let's find out what happens when we flip the 8 card over. This is fun. Oh, look at this. Azathoth Awakens. Oh man, this is not good at all. So I'm partially blaming Serenity for this a little bit. We're going to read this now and find out what our new objective is, I guess. A gateway to the center of chaos looms over Arkham. The Demon Sultan, a being of supreme power, threatens to consume not only Arkham but the entire world. Azathoth cannot be defeated by human hands, but perhaps there is another way. The space with the red marker is the epicenter. You move... the action, at that space is you move to the future. Perform this action only at the epicenter. The future is not adjacent to any other space. You will not be able to move back with a normal move action. When there are 5 clues on this card, flip card 9 and read the Lost in Time effect. That's the good scenario. So we're trying to actually get 5 clues now. So we just missed out on getting the 3 on the other side, which would have been an easier solution. The fail condition here says when there is 13 or more Doom on the scenario sheet, flip card 9 and read the Blind Chaos effect. So we also have the future card. So that's this one right here. So the future says, only skeletons remain of the buildings of Arkham. This blasted landscape is all that is left of your future. This card is a space called the future. So this is the card you would go to by performing the action at the red space. Now you'd end up on this card. If Doom would be placed on this space, place that Doom on the scenario sheet instead. Okay. And as an action, you prepare for a massive ritual enclosing the entire city in a circle inscribed with the crooked star of the Elder Sign. If you pass, move 1 clue from the scenario sheet to card 8. Perform this action only if you are in the future. Instead of resolving an encounter on this space, you fear this future is what awaits the Earth you call home. You suffer to horror. Wow, that is a lot to take in. Wow, that was an absolutely wild thing to get. That gate burst really got us good. So we are now done resolving that one. And lastly, we have this one, which is going to have us grab another Doom token, which is likely going to end up on the scenario sheet. But first, let's find out where it's going. So the bottom of the event deck has the Merchant District. So wouldn't you know it, it's going to be another Doom token that's added to the scenario sheet, guys. This is not looking good. We are now at a total of 10. And as it states right here on the Azathoth Awaken cards we just read, if we get to 13 or more doom, we flip this over. We flip card 9 over, which actually isn't this one. It's the future card right here. And read the Blind Chaos effect, which I imagine is going to be really, really bad and probably a game-ending situation. So we're in quite a lot of trouble. I kind of want to blame my assistant a little bit because I think she might have screwed us over. So we're going to start off with Calvin's turn. We definitely want to kill off this nasty monster that's engaged with him now. Remember though, Agnes hit it for 2 and it has a 2+, so basically it has 4 health and it has 2 damage on it. We need 2 more damage to kill it, so we're going to have him use his Spirit Dagger, and he can use a combination of 5 dice to go after this thing, but the modifier removes 2, so he's only rolling 3 and he needs to get 2 hits. So that's actually kind of dicey really at the end of the day. Dicey. And we're going to roll this and see if we get lucky here. No, we did not get lucky at all. So I'm going to actually pay a sanity to have him re-roll that because we can't have a failure there. So now Calvin's at 3 sanity, 2 health. Come on. And I'm using my voice in the messenger for those of you that don't know. Oh, just 1. That's not going to be good enough, guys. Come on. Calvin, you're not pulling your weight, man. So that's only 1 more damage. It's not going to be dead. Ah, that hurts so much. So we did put 1 more health damage on that monster. Serenity's right behind me here cheering me on as she plays behind me. So 1 damage. Yikes. He's at 3 total and I need 4 to kill him. So still a ways to go yet. But what I'm going to do now is try to evade him because I don't want to get hit by him when he activates, because if I do, I'm going to take 2 health or 2 damage and 2 sanity, and that's way too much. That's going to push Calvin up almost to the bleeding edge of death. So I'm going to go ahead here and try to try to evade, I should say, sorry. And we're going to evade using his observation, which is 3. So there is, oh no, look at the observation modifier on this thing. It's a -2. So he literally only gets to roll 1 die. So let's go ahead, clear these dice out of here and roll our single die. Now remember, we can go ahead here and use the voice of the messenger if we fail again. And we probably will, because we cannot have this thing attack us. It just can't happen. So here we go, hoping to exhaust this individual that's currently engaged with us. Yes, we finally had something go our way. So it gets exhausted, which means it gets placed in a ready state right here, and it's no longer connected to us. So that's good. That's actually really good for us. Yes, and I actually did this incorrectly. It's supposed to be flipped this way. It's supposed to be ready side, which is the black side, down when I evade it and exhaust it. And that basically lets you know that during the monsters phase, it's flipped the right way up. I might have actually messed that up earlier when we evaded with Agnes. If I did, hopefully this corrects it for you guys. But that's basically it. When it gets engaged with you, it flips to this side and goes right next to your character board. If you happen to evade it successfully, it comes back out into play like this, so that the ready side is down. So when the monster phase comes around, it flips, all it does is flip back over into its ready state, because otherwise I would just exhaust it, and as soon as the monster phase triggers, I just get hit. So make sure that that is pointing the right way, or you'll end up hurting yourself there. So we've exhausted that, and the cool thing is when you evade and you are successful in evading all of your all of the monsters, you get an additional action. So I can spend 1 more action and I can move somewhere else. And I'm going to go ahead. I could actually come over to it might be actually worthwhile to try and tackle 1 spot together, seeing as we can't do this alone. So I'm going to actually go ahead. Oh, but if I go over here, the robe figure's here, and the robe figure would see Calvin and engage me. So that's not really what I want either. And then he'd have the robe figure and this other monster kind of coming after him eventually. So let's not do that. Shoot. For 1 more round, we won't do it anyway. So I'm going to move to here. So at least I'm closer to where 2 Doom is for my encounter. Now, Agnes is over here and has 3 Doom waiting to be dealt with. And I definitely should go over there and try to do that. So we're going to make a move, and we're going to do a ward action. She's going to go ahead and use her lore. Now, she's got a lore of 5, as well as she's got her strength. She's got some focus tokens she could burn if she really needs to in order to try to succeed at this. We'll see if she really needs to do that. But she's also blessed, which is a huge positive. So 5 going into this, and hopefully we can ward away some Doom here. That is 4 successes. That's insane, and I don't lose my blessed condition. All of these are gone. She's also going to gain a remnant token, which is awesome. So she gets 1 remnant back in her pool. She's finally got something else to use, which is good. And we're going to move these out of the way. She's kept her blessing. That's awesome. She only needs to ward away 1 more Doom. We might get lucky and be able to do that this turn, But that's going to end our actions. We're now going to move into the monster phase. We're going to activate the rogue figure first, and the rogue figure, based on the discarded card in the event deck, is going to River Docks, which is over where Calvin is. And the cool thing is, when a monster is moving, so I'd move him based on his number on the bottom right, 1, he could technically go here or here because he's trying to get to here in the end. So I can choose, because these are equal distance away, I'd rather have him over here because I don't want to have him engage Calvin. So that was actually really smart of me to move to where I did, because that could actually allow the rogue figure to kind of pass by me, and I don't have any issues with that. The next thing is, this guy's going to go from an exhausted state to a ready state, so that later on he's ready to jump back at Calvin again, which is not good. And we don't currently have any monsters engaged on anybody else off the game board, so we're ready to move into the encounter phase. So we'll start it off with Calvin here in the encounter phase. We're going to grab an anomaly card because he can do his encounter. There's 2 doom in there, so let's read the last one here. This is 2 to 3. So a foreign-looking man with an Egyptian pendant and a glass machine lectures a crowd. Will -2. Well, that's bad because my will is 1. So it can't ever go lower and into the minuses. You always get at least 1 die to roll. So here's hoping. 1 die, please. No! Okay, so the thing is, I could use my voice of the messenger to take another sanity to re-roll this. Because... yeah, I think I really should. I think at this point in the game I really need to. I really don't want to, though, but at the same time... that's such a tough thing to do. Well, I still have some allies that can take some sanity damage, worst case scenario. Okay, so I took a sanity damage. I'm going to re-roll this. Cross your fingers for me, because I need this in order to hopefully get rid of some doom. I got it. It's a 6. Nice. Okay, so what that's going to allow me to do, based on the encounter card, is it's going to say, if you pass, you sift truth from bombast, you remove 3 doom from your space and gain a remnant. Look at that. So boom, boom, this is also going to gain me a remnant. So I basically gain, I guess I would gain 2 remnants? I don't know how that would work, because technically you gain a remnant if you get, 3 or more anyway. Or 2 or more, I should say. So I'm just going to take 1 for that, and then that anomaly is resolved. Perfect. Okay, so that went really, really well. Does it say 3 from my space or 3 from anywhere on the board? Just from my space. That's too bad, because I would have been able to clean up that anomaly. We're so close to getting rid of 2 anomalies, guys. So I've done my encounter. Let's move over to Agnes. Agnes certainly has a chance to get rid of something here. She's in a space with 0 doom, so we'll read the top one. Through a shimmering gateway, you see a timeline just like yours, but without the hardships you now face, you attempt to seal the gate. Nice, and we're using lore, and she's blessed, so let's do this. Oh yeah, easy. That's 3 successes. If you pass, you remove 1 doom from any space in your neighborhood. Awesome, we did it. Otherwise, we would have been cursed, guys. So we did it successfully. So with this doom removed, we removed the anomaly and 1 less chance of the doom spreading everywhere. And one of those things is finally resolved, so that's good. That's very, very good news. Oh, that takes a little bit of the stress off. All right, Serenity, you got to draw 2 from this bag. Can you do that for me? And just so you guys know, I also put in the 2 tokens that Codex card had called for way earlier when we had resolved them. So if you were wondering, hey, did you put those 2 tokens in that it asked for on the scenario card? I did. I just didn't show it on the camera. So let's see what Serenity pulls out. This time, I'm hoping it's not as bad. Come on. What is it this time? Which one is it? Okay, so okay. Here, you take them back. And let's do 1 more. Can you grab 1 more? Okay, I'm going to take the top one you have, and then the next one. So a reckoning and a newspaper. Okay, that's going to be for the first pull. There's the 3rd one, and what's the next one? Give me 1 more. Oh no. Thanks, Serenity. High 5. So thanks to Serenity, we got some better token pulls this time around. Kind of, I think. We got Reckoning, which should trigger quite a lot of craziness. And again, these are being pulled for Calvin. So the first 2 will be Calvin's, the second 2 will be Angus. So Reckoning is the first one we need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and remove a Health and Sanity from the Until the End of Time card that Calvin has. That's a really cool ability that he can suck up damage and health on that thing. He also needs to roll for his Dark Pack condition, which is not good. So he's going to roll a regular die to see whether or not he's going to be time to pay up for that. Nope, it is not. So he's safe there for another turn. That's going to resolve his reckoning. Let's move over to the other side of the board and see if there's anything left for the scenario cards. Yes, there is one more card here that needs to be dealt with for the reckoning, and it's each investigator tests their will. So I'm going to do that right now. This is going to be sad because I only roll 1 die for Calvin. So here's hoping I survive this. I did not. So whenever that happens, I have to put a doom in my space, and because he's in an anomaly space, that means that this would go onto the scenario card. Now what I could do is suffer a horror right now, which I'm going to do because I have the ability. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to take that horror and put it on the end of time, so I'm safe there, in order to re-roll this and hope that I don't have to do that. Ah, I still have to. So I suffered a horror and I have to put that on the mat. So now there's a total of 11 tokens on the scenario card, and we gotta go over to Agnes and resolve this exact same check. So now Agnes will test her will, which is 3, and we got blessed dice, so we're hoping for good things here. Oh, just barely. I got a success off the side of the camera there. So she does pass this and no doom is added, and she doesn't lose her blessed condition. Now, right now, we can choose to discard a clue in order to get rid of that card, but I'm not going to do that again because we really need to keep our clues to successfully get the 5 clues that we need in order to stop Azathoth. So I'm going to hold on to our clues. Actually, you know what? To be totally honest, I don't have any because I've already researched a clue onto the scenario card way back. So we don't actually have any. We don't have a clue that's on our investigators to actually use to discard this particular rumor anyway. So it's just going to sit there kind of haunting us for later. We're going to move on to the next token for Calvin, which is the newspaper one. So we'll discard that token. We'll grab a card from the top of the deck, see what we get. We ended up getting a full moon linked to aberrant behavior. Ooh, that's not good. It says, this month's double full moons, especially bad. No scientific explanation available. Add this card to the codex and discard all other rumor headlines. So this one is going to disappear, finally. But we have to deal with another one now. Now this one has one for every reckoning too, and it says, each investigator tests their will. Each investigator who fails suffers 2 horror. Oh no, now it's directly affecting our investigators. Then any investigator may spend 1 clue to discard the card. So now we're being hammered for sanity damage, which is not good. So that's not very fun. So we resolve that token, and now we'll resolve the next one. This one's for Agnes. It's a clue token, so this is nice and easy. So the top card off the deck is the north side, making the north side an even better place to go check out clues. So I'm going to grab a clue token now, and you guys can see this, dropping it up here. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle this card into the top 2 cards of the north side deck, making it even better odds that we will get a clue card there. So maybe, now that we've closed 1 anomaly and we only have 1 left, maybe I should just have one of them head up there. It's kind of hard to ignore that. The next token we have to resolve is a doom, another spreading doom token. Now that's no fun. So we'll grab from the bottom, and we got ourselves downtown, and it's going to be at the La Bella Luna. So that's a doom token at La Bella Luna. So that's going to put this here, and wow, we've almost got an anomaly showing up there too. So that's something else we need to worry about. As you can see, things really pick up the pace when you go through that Mythos phase. It really does swing the entire game around and your plans right upside down. So we're going to start off here, and we're going to go ahead and start with Calvin, because I really want Calvin to get over here to the graveyard. I don't want him sticking around with these monsters in this area, and I'll have Agnes come over here and deal with it, because she has that jacket. She can hide from things, so that he's not engaged by anybody that can get out of here. So we're going to go 1, 2, and he's got so much money, I'm going to pay $1 in order to get him right next to Agnes now. And he can also help with the graveyard clue too, if she happens to leave. What I'm going to do for his second action is I'm going to go ahead and I'm probably going to trade, I think. Or I'm going to do some type of resource management with his damage and sanity, because I can shuffle things around that way. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm definitely going to... I think at this point, trading makes the most sense. She's actually doing pretty good, and he's pretty full up on sanity damage and stuff. So maybe it makes sense to... Well, let me see here. Yeah, it might make sense to actually go ahead and give her all of my remnant tokens. So I'm going to give every remnant token he has, except for maybe 1, in case he happens to need one, to Agnes. So she can basically go crazy with her spells and not have to worry about the cost of anything. So now Agnes has a total of 5 remnant tokens to use when she goes back over here to fight the monsters, which will come in really handy for her. And she can hit people 1 spot away, so she doesn't have to be super close to them to do damage, which is good. So that's going to end his turn. Now Agnes is going to activate. I'm going to put her 1, 2, and I'm going to have her go ahead and attack. Oh, it sucks because I won't be able to get into... Should I have Calvin give her money so she can get in the same area? Yes, because she can hide from things. So I'm going to have Calvin give her a couple bucks. Maybe give her $3 because she doesn't have any money to her name. And she's going to go ahead and move now. 1, 2, spend $1. And she's going to move into the area with these guys, and she has her jacket on. Serenity's sneezing up a storm behind me, so that's not me, by the way. She's lurking behind me here. And now what we're going to do is we've moved her to that spot, and I think what I'm going to do is probably engage one of them and knock one of them out. And I probably want to engage... I don't know which one to go after, to be honest. If I wanted to kind of come out of hiding and attack one, oh, that one's bad. Oh, that's right. This one, sorry, has 2 damage on it, or 3 damage on it. I think I cleared that damage away by accident. That was the one we've been attacking for a while. Sorry, guys. That 3 damage must have got moved around on the table. So this thing actually has 3 damage because we put 2 on from Agnes way back, and then Calvin hit it for 1. But it's still alive. So maybe I'll just have Agnes make an attack against it, seeing it's right there. So I'll probably just go ahead and use a regular attack, which is 2. I think this thing takes away 2 of my dice. Yes, it does. So, but I still get 1 die, and it's blessed, which might be all I need. And if I need more, I'll use my wither spell. I nailed it anyway. I got it. So this thing is out of here. It's dead. And she gains a remnant from it too, which is awesome. So she's going to get another remnant token, as if she doesn't already have enough of those. And this guy is gone. So we've removed that monster from the area, and her turn is now over. So we're moving into the monster phase. What is the most unstable space? It is Labella Luna. So we're going to have our robed figure move to Labella Luna, which is actually 2 spaces away, and it has 2 movements. So it can go right over here, no problem. And that's actually it. That's the only monster on the game board. We're going to move into the encounter phase. We'll start things off with Calvin here in Rivertown. Now the anomaly is gone, he can actually do a normal encounter, and he didn't get the one with the clue. So no luck this time. He's in the graveyard. It says, the darkness and fog make you wish you hadn't agreed to dig these graves. Suddenly, something cold and wet touches the back of your leg. Do your will check. Oh, he's only got 1 for will. This is probably bad. Oh my gosh, I actually got it. If you pass, it's just a friendly dog with a wallet in its mouth. You gain $3. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, like Calvin, he's got, like, money just flows to the guy like nothing. He's had probably $12 or $15 this entire game, which is crazy. So that's amazing, but it's not what we really wanted. So we're still hunting for the clue there, and hopefully it'll show up at some point. Let's go over to Agnes. Agnes on the other side of the board here is trying to get rid of an anomaly, so this is very important. She's going to be doing it in the anomaly encounter, and she's got 1 doom there. So it says, the crone walks you through the first lesson. Do a lore check. Well, that's awesome, because she has amazing lore. So, let's see here. Yep, that's a pass. So she still gets to keep her stuff. If you pass, you grasp the underlying power of language to define reality. You remove 1 doom from any space in your neighborhood. Perfect. So that's going to remove this doom, which then removes this anomaly. And boom, we've cleared out both spaces of any kind of danger that way. The only one that's in danger now is probably downtown. Just up over there is at 4. So that's something we're going to have to focus on in later turns, but now it's time to go back to the Mythos phase. So Serenity isn't here for this one, so I'm going to go ahead and pull these on her behalf. So the first one we're going to go for this time is Agnes. She got a blank. That's awesome. And second up, Gate Burst. The top card of the event deck is the Merchant District. So the Merchant District we just cleared is literally going to have a whole bunch more Doom tokens dropping down on it. So 1 in every space. So we're all the way back up to 3 again with that one. After that, the card's going to go on the bottom of the discard pile and then get shuffled back into the event deck, but gets placed on the bottom of the remaining event deck cards. So I'm doing that off screen at the moment, and we've got that one all resolved. So her pull is perfectly finalized, as she had a blank and the Gate Burst, but we've run out of tokens, so I need to refill the Mythos Cup for Agnes's turn, I guess, would be next. So this one was for Calvin. And let's see here what we get. So that's a monster spawn. That's not good, because we've been doing a decent job getting rid of monsters. And a clue. Okay, clues are good. So First off, the clue is going to be at, well, we'll do the monster first because the monster was the first pull. So the monster that's coming out is this one. Not good. And it's going to spawn at the location with the most doom, which is going to be up here. So downtown's getting, it's not looking so hot right now. And then next we're going to go ahead and we're going to have a clue token spawn, as I mentioned, in East Town. So that's good with an extra clue to go after. Does that put it in any useful, oh my gosh. So now we have clues in every location on the board. So I'll shuffle this one into the top 2 cards of this deck. And if we get lucky, we might see it. And if we get unlucky, we might never see it. So that's actually going to resolve both of the tokens for him. So let's go into another round. So Agnes, being the amazing individual that she is probably going to go up into the downtown area and maybe try to ward away stuff. I'm not going to bother trying to attack this thing because I don't have to. So I'm just going to actually have her go 1, 2, and she's going to try to ward this away with her 5 blessed dice. So here's hoping for the best. Again, these ones are discarded from the last Mythos Cup we just did. She got 2 successes, so the 2 doom that are there are gone, and she gains a remnant token from that, which is great. So she's got a ton of remnant tokens now. She's up to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tokens. Calvin is in Rivertown currently. I'm going to have him try to move into the Merchant District to deal with this, and also get closer to one of these to the clues on this side of the board. So we're going to go 1, 2, and he's going to spend $1 in order to move an extra space and get into the Unvisited Isle location. So that's 1, and then he's going to go ahead and ward. He gets 5 dice for warding, and hopefully he can get rid of one of the doom there. He got rid of 1, actually 2, but there's only 1 there, so boom, that is gone. Nice work, and that is it for our actions. Let's move into the monster phase. You guys, I just noticed a massive mistake that I made. I totally missed the last couple times that we were supposed to activate monsters, activating this guy up here, and he's been up here for quite some time in this playthrough. I might have activated him a couple times, but I can't remember. So in order for it to be fair, because he's still there, he doesn't actually move or do anything. He just spawns, or actually he's just a lurker, and he places a doom at any adjacent space. So what I'm going to do to even this out is I'm going to place a doom at Velma's Diner, a doom at the police station, and maybe also, actually that might be enough. We probably need 1 more. I guess technically that would have changed things because an anomaly would have shown up here. But I can't retroactively correct that too much because at this point, this guy, I had missed him on a couple of occasions. What happened was I put his card here and it blended in with the street areas so well I didn't even see it. I don't know how I didn't see it, but I just didn't. I missed this all the way from the beginning. So again, I put 2 doom out, and as of right now, I'll definitely put another doom where she's standing to try to even things out. So that's 3 doom. That covers 3 misses. And then we'll go from there. So the robe figure is going to activate and is going to head on a patrol to this spot based on the discarded event cards, but they've all been moved back into the event deck, so it's actually going to head towards the beginning space, which is over here. So it's going to move 2 over here. This one right here is going to hunt or move toward and engage the lowest observation. So that would have been Agnes, but she has her cloak on, so it's actually going to be Calvin. So it's going to be flipped over like this and put in front of Calvin. He's going to have an engaged monster on him, and as of right now he takes a health and sanity hit from that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put that health onto, I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that health onto the police officer who can take 4 damage, and I'm going to put 1 sanity onto Zora. So Zora's going to actually be taken out. So I've lost an ally now for so Zora's hit the 2 sanity limit, so I've lost an ally here for Calvin, so that's discarded, and too bad, but at least it soaked up that damage. And that's going to do it for the monster phase. We'll move into the encounter phase, so we might as well go ahead here for La Bella Luna here and hope that we get lucky in the downtown area for Agnes. We did not! So it says the Clover Club beneath La Bella Luna is the best place to gamble away your hard-earned cash. Pass line bet for our friend here, says the grouper. Roll them. Roll 2 dice. On a 7 or 11, you double your bet. You gain $5. On a 2, 3, or 12, you lose the bet and you tip and discard $3. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead here and I'm rolling 2 dice. So let's see how much I end up getting here. I got a 4, and a 4 is nothing. Nothing happens. Nothing happens at all. So that did not pan out for me, but I didn't even get the clue there either. Ugh, rats. Okay, and then we're going to move along to Calvin here at the Merchant District and hope we can find the clue. Yes! Okay, now let's see if we can gain it. It's at the Unvisited Isle. 7 robed figures stand in a loose circle around a fire and chant. Chaos leads us, and chaos takes us. You gain 1 clue from your neighborhood. Good job, Calvin. He's got a clue. And you do your best to remain quiet and observe the whole ritual using your will. Here's the hope. A 4. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I didn't roll blessed dice for Agnes's check because it was about the values of the dice, not what type of dice or condition she had. Anyway, I got a 4, so I didn't succeed at that, so I don't gain any extra benefit. Do I gain a bad thing? No. So it would have just been a benefit to me, but I don't get it. But I did get the clue, and that's what's important. So this card will now go in the event card discard pile. And we are now finished our encounters, and we can move on to the Mythos phase. So Agnes is first up. Her first pull is going to be... a doom. This is not good. So this is going to end up in the Merchant District. And where exactly? It's going to end up in the Unvisited Isle. That's not fun. So that's going to pop in right where Calvin is. So we've got it back up to 3 there. The next token for her is a monster spawn. No! The next token for Agnes is a monster token. So we're going to resolve that right now. Grab the bottom card of the monster deck. It's coming all the way around to the Abyssal Servant again. It's going to spawn at a street nearest its prey, and the prey is her, so it's going to be either here or here. Where should I put it is the question. It's going to eventually engage and move toward the investigator with the most clues, and currently that would be Calvin. So I guess if it's heading already over in that direction, I might as well put it here. So we'll put it there, and then that's going to resolve her token pulls. Let's go ahead and grab a token for Calvin. Calvin gets a gate burst. Oh, worst. And then after that, it'll be a newspaper. So when resolving a gate burst, we're going to go ahead and take the top card of the event deck and put a doom token in every one of these locations. That's not good at all. So that's going to be, oh no, that's going to tip the north side into an anomaly. So we're going to have 1 here, which puts 4. That right there makes an anomaly. And then it's going to put another doom on the scenario sheet. That's quite the pile, isn't it? 12 doom on the scenario sheet, and when it hits 13, we're going to have to flip this Azathoth Awaken cards over, which I'm really not looking forward to. So we had 1 token go in, another token go in, the anomaly occurs, and then we have the other doom token that would have gone in the north side land on the scenario sheet to give us our 12th doom token. Next up, we need to resolve the newspaper token, see what we get for that. This is going to be for Calvin. Why even go on anymore? Good question, actually. I'm starting to wonder that myself. Opinion, everything hopeless, the end draws near. Advertiser's final issue. The headline, roll 1 die. This die roll is not a test. You suffer a total amount of damage and or horror equal to the die result. You choose how to split it up. Oh my goodness. So here we go. We're going to roll this up. Please don't be bad. 6. I got a 6. So I do have my Voice of the Messenger card, which allows me to suffer 1 horror in order to reroll any number of dice. So I could do that because 6 is the worst thing ever. Now, if I put 1 more horror onto my cop here, he's going to be gone. If I can't put it onto until the end of time because it's full, if I put it on I can put it on the amulet and get rid of the amulet. That might actually be what I do. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put 1 horror on the amulet, so the amulet is also burnt. And now it's really I'm running out of options to put things on. So that card is gone, and we're now going to go ahead and re-roll this and hope that I get a higher value than before. Or sorry, lower value, and I got a 1. That is much better. So with that 1, I'm going to place... I'll put health damage, because I get to choose if it's health or sanity. I'll put a health damage. I'm going to put it on my... until the end of time, because I can actually mitigate that later if I get a Reckoning. And that is going to resolve that particular section of the Mythos phase. We're going to move over into a new round. Okay, so starting up a brand new round, we're going to have Agnes start off first, and I'm kind of eyeing this servant here. I want to attack this thing. I know it's going to go after Calvin when it eventually activates in the monster phase, but if I can have Agnes do a shot against this thing using the Shriveling spell, which she can do from adjacent space, she just goes ahead and she's going to test her lore, and then she can attack and throw some damage against it. Plus she's blessed, so she's got a good chance of making this hit. Her lore is 5, minus 1 for this particular test, so she gets 4 blessed dice. We're hoping for good results. We got 2, so 2 damage is not bad. We'll put 2 damage on this particular monster, and that is going to be that. Next up, we cannot do another attack again, and we did technically just cast a spell. Now what I could do is I could burn one of my focus tokens in order to re-roll. I should just do that every time, seeing as her combination between that and her heirloom makes it possible for me to do so. So I had 2 successes, so I'm just going to go ahead and burn my lore focus token in order to re-roll one of these dice. Nice, I got another hit. So I didn't kill it, but I'm getting really close. And I could technically burn the strength one too. You know what? Let's do it. She's blessed. Let's see if we get really lucky. Oh, just shy. Okay, well, she lost, but because she cast a spell, she gets to have one back. So she's going to take lore back, because that's the one that she uses the most. And we still inflicted 3 damage, so that's pretty good overall. For her last action, she's in La Bella Luna. Is that where I really want her to be? The question is, I could move her somewhere where she could gain something. Like here, she can take sanity away for money. She has money now, so maybe I'll move her 1 to here instead. Next up, we're going... Oh, actually, let me think about that. Where's the rogue figure going to go based on the event? Oh, okay, so there's no event discard right now, so it will be heading to the train station. So I would be safe to move her here to the asylum. So I'll do that. She can maybe hopefully get a situation where she can maybe get some sanity back. And then in terms of Calvin, Calvin's engaged. He's got this monster on him, so he's going to want to deal with that right away. There's a reward. It says after you defeat this monster as part of an attack action, you may disengage all monsters and move up to 3 spaces. Whoa, that's crazy. So I could really get him around the map somewhere good. That's pretty awesome. Wow, that's really good. All right, let's see if I can do an attack here. So I'm going to be doing an attack with my Spirit Dagger. So it's going to be 5 dice going into it, hoping for good things. And I need 3 damage. There's no modifier to reduce this attack, so here we go. So far, 3 fails, and let's make that 1 hit. That was really bad. Now, I could take a sanity right now in order to re-roll this, as I normally have done in the past. If I took a sanity, I can't put it on the until the end of time card because it's filled up. I could put it on my cop, but I really would rather not do that, because a cop allows me to do a free research action, which gets it on the scenario card, which is very important. And he's currently got 4 sanity on him, so you know what? I don't think I can. But here's the downside of this. This monster is going to hit me for 1 health and 1 sanity. So if I don't take the sanity to re-roll this, I'm kind of screwing myself over a little bit. So you know what? I'm going to take the sanity. This is really dangerous. Oh, this is very dangerous because oh no. You know what? I think Calvin's going to be in some serious trouble here. He's going to be in some serious trouble. So here we go. We're going to take the sanity hit. I'm going to put it on Calvin for 1. So now he's literally on the brink of going mad. And what we're going to do is we're going to re-roll all the dice except for the 1 hit. We're looking for 2 hits. That's what we need. So here's hoping. Wow, we got it. We got the 3. Sweet. So we actually end up doing it, which saves us a health hit later on, which is great. So this thing's gone. I'm going to gain a remnant on top of that. So that's fantastic news. Wow, that worked out perfectly. So here's my remnant token going for Calvin. He's got 2 of those now. So we'll clear away all the dice. He's now not engaged with anybody, and he's still technically... Oh, and based on that particular kill, that monster said that he could disengage all of the monsters and also move up to 3 spaces. So I could get him somewhere where I really would like him to be. I don't think there's any point in him being in the merchant district, seeing as there's no clue here. So we might as well move him somewhere more useful. I could put him up here at the Anomaly. That might make sense. I wouldn't want him to sit at the train station because a rogue figure would engage him, but I could go 1, 2, and maybe get him to the, let's see here. The Curiosity Shop allows him to spend money, so that's not a bad idea. Let's go to the shop. So I'm going to have him go 1, 2, 3. And then technically he has another action because that move action was free as a result of killing the monster. And, oh, and also when I defeat a monster, I can use my police ability, which is right here, to basically go ahead and I can research. It says after you defeat a monster as part of an attack action, you may research 1 clue. So literally going to take the clue I have on me, put it on the scenario card, so we have 2. So he's doing a lot based on these combinations, and now I'm going to have him try to ward away the 2 doom up there. Actually, sorry, he can't do that. No, he can't. Never mind. I can do that. I can try to take away doom. That's the purpose. We're trying to get rid of the anomaly there. So 5 dice going in, hoping for good things. Let's see how many we get. We got 2, which is all that's there. Perfect. So we're going to wipe the 2 doom away. We're also going to gain another remnant for him, going up to 3 remnants. And we're on our way to getting into this area, which I really want because the odds of getting clues in here are very, very high. So I'm going to probably have Agnes stick around the downtown area, at least until she can eventually deal with this monster, because right now it's the monster activation phase, and he's going to basically drop a Doom token in one of these spaces, and I'm going to put it somewhere where we can go ahead and deal with it. So I'm going to probably put it at, let's see, money and will, or influence and observation. So her observation is 2 and her influence is 2. That's not very good. Her will is very high at 3, and money. So you know what? We're going to put it here, and I'll have her go there next time. So he just put that Doom token there. This Abyssal Servant here is going to be going after the investigator with the most clues. Currently, nobody has the most clues, but this thing won't engage Agnes because she's got her coat on, so it's coming to Calvin. And it's a hunter, so it says move toward. It's going to move 2, and now that Calvin's further away, it won't be able to attack this turn, which is perfect. We have to figure out which path is the longest and shortest and all that, so let's do that right now. So to Calvin right now, if this servant was moving, it would go 1, 2, 3, 4 is one way, or 1, 2, 3, 4. So either way works. I could have this thing, and I wouldn't want it to go up here because as soon as it comes into this area, actually, well, she's got her cloak on, so it wouldn't matter. Actually, it might make sense to put it here strategically, because if we put it there, then Agnes can actually shoot it before it even gets to Calvin. So I'm going to put it right there, and it can walk straight through her because she's got her coat on, which is awesome. So it doesn't engage her when it walks through. That's fantastic. And then, of course, the robed figure is also going to move 2 spaces, but only needs to move 1 to the train station because we don't have any discarded event cards, so we know that the unstable space is right here. That's it. That's all the monsters that are in play. So we're going to go ahead and move to the encounter phase. Well, we'll do an anomaly encounter for Calvin here, hoping that he can do something positive. He's in a space with 0 doom. You find yourself in an alternate timeline where Arkham seems so filled with joy that you think you might stay. Oh, I have to roll my will. Ugh, that's the worst with him. So here we go. I passed. That's insane. Awesome. If you pass, you resolve to return and save your world. You remove 1 doom from any space in your neighborhood. Nice. So then maybe let's take it from the train station so I don't have to bother going in there and being attacked by the robed figure. Perfect. His turn is done. Let's move to Agnes. All right, Agnes is in the downtown area, so she's going to take a card off the top, praying that it's a clue, and it is. Yes. Arkham Asylum, it says, the twin snakes of mind and matter, all barriers to health dissolve, the universal solvent Azathoth. This new doctor seems unorthodox. You may spend $1 to try this method and ask for more details. If you do, you or an ally recovers 3 sanity and you gain the clue from your neighborhood. Thank goodness I gave Agnes some money earlier on the playthrough. That worked out fantastic. She just got rid of all of her sanity. She had 2 damage and 2 sanity hits, but now her sanity has been totally cleared up. That's fantastic. That would have been much better for Calvin, actually, being that he was... Can it be for anyone, though? You or an ally recovers. Oh, right, and he's an investigator. Allies would be my own allies that I actually have with Agnes. So I have to take this off Agnes, which is fine, and I also gain the clue, which is the most important part. So we've got another clue. That's awesome. So we're going to go ahead and take this card, throw that in the discard pile. All right, that was a very, very successful run there for those 2, and hopefully, if we get really lucky, we can get Calvin to get over there, deal with the anomaly, and maybe we can have Agnes come help out too, and really, really rip through that area quickly for the next round. But then the Mythos phase, our most fun phase of all. So we're going to go ahead here, pull a token for Agnes, and wouldn't you know it, it's a gate burst. Not good. These things are the worst. So the top card of the event deck is actually the downtown. So super lucky that we were able to get the clue out of here before it went under. But every space in this area here is going to get a Doom token now, which is not the greatest. So 1, and then there would actually, this is bad actually all the way around. So it's going to be, technically be like, actually as soon as I put 1 down, we're getting an anomaly. So it's 1. Now an anomaly is going to form there, which is not the greatest. And then on top of it, 2 Doom is going to transfer itself over to our scenario sheet. And that, guys, is going to tip us into a bad, bad situation here. So we now have a total of, let's see here. We should actually be, let's see what we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That makes sense because we were at 12 and we got 2 on there, so it should be 14. So we're 1 over now, so we're going to have to go ahead and resolve, not that one, but the Azathoth Awakens. It's this one here. This could be bad. This could be really bad. So at the very bottom of this card here, it says when there are 13 or more doom on the scenario sheet, flip the card 9 and read it. So it's not this one. We're flipping 9, which is the future. So it's this guy right here, and we're going to go ahead and flip it over. What happens? And it's the... Oh no, I think something terrible just happened.
Blind chaos, the demon sultan emerges from the great rift over Arkham, and all air is sucked from the atmosphere in an instant. Earthquakes and volcanic eruptions tear the Earth's crust apart. All remaining life on Earth lasts for no more than a few fleeting moments of pain, or rather, they would feel pain had their minds not already been shattered. Somehow you survive long enough to watch everything else die. Investigators lose the game.
No, we were so close, and that silly gate burst destroyed us there. Oh man, we were right on the... That was right on the edge of a knife, guys. I remember seeing a couple of comments from the past videos saying like this could go either way, and I really did feel like we had a shot there, but you can tell just from how things went, things started to slope a little bit downhill about midway through this finale here, and I started to get a little bit concerned that the anomalies were building up, and we were not able to stay on top of them fast enough. This game's really, really good. I really like this. Like, I played Arkham Horror 1st Edition and 2nd Edition a lot, and I've only played this a handful of times. This is probably my 3rd or 4th, and this is on camera, and I've played a couple scenarios through that, and I really enjoy this. Like, no matter how many times I've played the same scenario, it's actually really interesting to see the differences in the story that kind of gets created as you go through it, and how you get to a win condition changes. Like, my investigators are very much different than how it handled in previous plays off camera, so that's really cool. I'm definitely happy with this one. So I'm very, very happy that I actually ended up letting go of my entire 2nd edition collection, which was a massive pile of boxes. This is a much more Arkham Horror, the card game. It's almost like Arkham Horror, the LCG, blended with, and you'll know what I mean by that when you start seeing some of the art and some of the monsters and stuff like that. But the LCG, Eldritch Horror, and Arkham Horror smashed together is the best way to say it, because it really grips you into the story and narrative. And it's something that, one of the reasons why Arkham's always been one of my favorites is because it's such a nitty-gritty type situation where you're right down at the street level, moving from place to place. But I had a ton of fun with this playthrough, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad that Serenity was able to pop in for this video just for a little bit to kind of pull a couple, but she had to go to bed. Thank you guys so much for your support and feedback along the way. Of course, I may have missed something, because even when playing solo here, there's quite a bit to keep track of once you get a number of cards on each of the investigators. Some of these things combo off each other, and there's always multiple strategies, so I may have missed something here and there. I definitely gummed things up with the Occult Ritualist in terms of missing that at the beginning, but I hope that by putting all those Doom tokens out, I was able to kind of balance that out. And at the end of the day, I had fun, and I cannot wait to try this scenario again. So thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate all the support, and as always, keep on rolling solo.